Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Eubank Jr. and Connor Benn. Huge fight coming up this weekend. But it's hard to call it on this one, man. You know, there are a lot of people, for some reason, it seems like Connor Benn is kind of gaining momentum, and people are really siding with him to defeat Eubank Jr. Now, before I even get into that, let's just try to understand what we're dealing with here in Eubank Jr. As far as how many knockouts he has almost as many knockouts as Connor Benn has fights. So we have to take all that into consideration. How long Eubank Jr. has been fighting. You know, all the experience he has. You know, we really have to take a look at that, to be fair to Eubank Jr. Okay? Because the aggression, the insults, and the in-your-face personality doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win a fight. Now, what I just described was kind of Connor Benn. But at the same time, when you see Eubank Jr. with the confidence, and you could tell he is his father's child, isn't he? The way he speaks, there's some intelligence there, very witty, a lot of gamesmanship, a lot of mind games. But when you look at this, I think some people are kind of getting caught up in, I get it. Connor Benn is aggressive. He has power. He's going to bet on himself. Connor Benn is going to leave it all in the ring, right? But with Eubank Jr., he's not a guy who's going to come in there and just stand there for Connor Benn to just lay into him. You know, Chris Eubank Jr. is not Chris Algieri. Do you guys understand? You know, with Eddie Hearn picking Eubank Jr. as an opponent for Connor Benn, right? Because this wasn't Connor Benn's doing. Eddie Hearn is behind this. And the reason he's behind it is like I've been saying in other videos. I keep telling y'all, Eddie Hearn has to put together Grand Slam fights. Every fight he puts on has to be a home run. It needs to be out the park. Because he has the zone in the red, and he is trying to make up ground, financial ground, to somewhat break even or get into the yellow. Okay? I really do believe that. Now, I don't have any proof of that in front of me, but I've watched enough videos, and I'm a common sense man, to see the change in Eddie Hearn's style, the change in how he's approaching these fights, the change in the type of fights he's making, the fact that they're doing pay-per-view now, and the fact that he's actually changing the way he approaches fighters. If they want to leave, they can leave. You know, to hear him say that is like, wow. But he's even said it. They only want fighters who can do numbers. Eddie Hearn said that, man. I don't have that information in front of me. I've watched the video where he said it, and that's why I started to cover, to really poke or draw attention to Eddie Hearn and whatever financial turmoil is going on over there with the zone, and them not getting a return on their investment. So you come and see Connor Benn didn't pick this fight. He's not going to run from it either. Eddie Hearn's a smart guy. I'm sure it was tabled a kind of way to get Connor Benn to say, yeah, I'd be interested. Especially when you talk about the fact Connor Benn, also Eubank Jr., these guys are going to be making 4 times as much as what they will be making fighting a top opponent in their weight class. That's crazy. So when you look at that, of course Connor Benn's going to say, yeah, let me get Eubank Jr. Because at the same time, and we just have to be fair to Connor Benn, nobody wanted to fight him. Thurman didn't want to fight him. You know, Boots Ennis don't want to fight him. What's his name? Thurman, Broner, Boots Ennis don't want to fight him. They try to get him over there to fight, you know, the Spencers, the Crawfords. They don't want to fight him. But anyone at 147, they don't want no parts of Connor Benn. And you can't blame him. You can't blame him. Connor Benn is getting better and better with every fight, with every training camp. But I just don't think he's ready for Eubank Jr. Eubank Jr. has looked pretty spectacular in his last couple fights, especially training with Roy Jones Jr. He just, the reflexes, the boxing ability, the IQ. And let's not forget, the Eubank Jr. See, you know what's going to happen with Eubank Jr.? I can see people saying about Eubank Jr. what they say about Floyd Mayweather. Oh, Eubank Jr. is a runner. Ah, man, he's a cherry picker, but especially the runner, right? Everyone calls Floyd Mayweather a runner. Floyd Mayweather is no runner. And the reason I'm drawing this comparison because right now, Eubank Jr. no longer wants to stand and trade and just beat you down and get you out of there within the first couple of rounds. Remember, that was his style. Remember his videos, they went viral of him hitting that station with the mitts, you know, like the 12 or 11 little mitts, 11, 12 mitts. And he was just be hitting that, like all those shots, nonstop. And that's how he fought. But his style has evolved, being with Roy Jones Jr., you know, less punishment is better, and he's looked exceptional. And he's super athletic, and it's amazing to see that he can actually do the things that Roy Jones did in the ring. And Roy Jones is able to show him that, and he can go out there and he can emulate it, and does it quite well. So when you look at the fact that he can brawl, but also he can box, he has the height advantage, the reach advantage. He has the advantage in all areas. Connor Benn's going to get in there, and in my opinion, he's going to just be swinging, man. Swinging wildly, getting frustrated, and he's going to get encountered. And I definitely see Connor Benn getting... I like Connor Benn, okay? I think he beats a lot of guys at 147. But I think he's going to get in there and get himself embarrassed because he's going to get frustrated. You know, Connor Benn isn't a guy that floats like a butterfly, stings like a bee. Connor Benn is a Provodnikov. That's exactly who he is. He's a Provodnikov. And he's going to get in there, and he probably has some chances. He may land a couple shots. But Eubank Jr. just has the kind of engine to where he doesn't have to stand and trade. He can just outbox him and make it look easy. And that's really what I think is going to happen. I think he's going to take him to school. But if Eubank Jr. for some reason decides, like Clarissa Shields and Savannah Marshall that's coming up, if he wants to stand there and prove that I can outslug him and take his shots, well, he's going to have a problem. And I think that's where Connor Benn's going to be trying to, you know, cut him off, set traps. And once he gets the opportunity to let his hands go, he's going to have to. Downside to that is what's going to be coming back at him, because Eubank Jr. is a very good counterpuncher. But I want to make sure I say this before I end this video, right? We talk about Eubank Jr. being a bigger man in this fight. He is, as far as the height, as far as the reach. But when we talk about the weight, okay, understand this, and it pisses me off when Eddie Hearn keeps trying to spin it this way. Oh, Connor Benn is coming up from 147. Eubank Jr. only has to come down 3 pounds. Let me put this in perspective for y'all, right? Connor Benn isn't coming up from nothing. Connor Benn and Eubank Jr. walk around about the same weight. What's happening here is Eubank Jr. and Connor Benn are having to both cut down to 157. It's just Connor Benn doesn't have to cut any more to get down to 147. All right? Connor Benn doesn't walk around at 150. You understand me? He doesn't have to put on weight. So the way that the media keeps spinning this narrative is Connor Benn is bulking up and he's protein shakes and a lot of things are high in protein and veggie burgers and all this crap. That's a lie. That's a lie, man. What he's doing is he's coming down to a weight 157 that he normally comes down to anyway on his way to 147. It's not him coming up from like 150 to 157. He's struggling to gain mass and to maintain his weight. That's all crap. Okay? So I just want to make sure I frame that correctly. And as far as the rehydration clause, it probably hurts. It could probably hurt both of them. Excuse me. I don't know what Eubank Jr. rehydrates to. Fights at 160, Maybe he comes back up to, he rehydrates to 172 or something like that. But Connor Benn at whatever way he's coming in the ring at 157, you better believe Connor Benn's going to rehydrate to probably the same weight of Eubank Jr. Okay? I just want to make sure I put that out there. Connor Benn kills himself to get to 147. All right? That's a fact. He's not going to be at 147 long. He kills himself to get to 147. It's like Earl Spence. These guys kill themselves to get down to that weight. Okay? So this isn't a weight bully situation. If anyone who has an advantage, it's Connor Benn. Because he's going to be super strong. He should have no excuses for anything. But at the same time, he doesn't have to cut. He doesn't have to cut down further than what he normally does. He's straight. He actually gets to relax, save that energy. Eubank Jr. has to actually go a little bit deeper. And him, Eubank Jr. at 168, I mean, it looked like there's no fat on him anyway. So at 160, there's no fat in. For him to figure out a way to get his ass down to 157, it's going to be interesting. But don't get caught up in all the eating the cakes and fried chicken and all the jokes and saying my 60% is more than enough to beat Eubank Jr. I mean, to beat Connor Benn. Eubank Jr. knows he's in for a fight. He knows that he's in for a fight. He knows this. He knows this is not going to be easy. He knows there's going to be some work involved here. So I'm looking forward to the fight, man. But hey, these guys are both supposed to be making I don't know, man. I'm hearing between 10 and 20 million a piece. That's crazy. $10 and $20 million a piece. But we'll see how the cards fall. But don't get caught up in all the bull crap. Eubank Jr., hey, he says he's going to retire if he can't beat Ben. There's always a chance, man. Boxing, anything can happen. I just don't see it. I see Eubank Jr. boxing him, frustrating him. Then eventually just the experience comes into play. And he will probably stop him, a late stoppage. And, I'm going to liken this to, you remember when James Toney fought Vasily Girov? It's going to be like that. Now, I'm not talking about as far as the weight and all that, because we know Toney was a smaller guy, came all the way up to heavyweight. But what I'm talking about is the experience. With James Toney, stylistically, the fights are a huge, a major contrast, right? But what I'm drawing attention to is the experience. James Toney just had the experience over the younger, stronger Girov. And he just embarrassed him. And this is what I think we're going to see here as far as the experience coming into play, and the younger, stronger fighter gets embarrassed. And I'm going to say that. I think Ben maybe, in a sense, maybe stronger, or maybe he's just more explosive. But I just don't think he's going to have what it takes against a guy who's explosive and strong as well, but just the experience. And I think it's going to be all downhill for what's his name, Connor Benn. After the first 4 rounds, I think it's going to be all downhill. But anyway, man, that being said, you guys like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Shout out to the veterans. I got my other computer being worked on right now, man. So I'll get that back hopefully tomorrow. Get back on my regular business, man. But hey, I'm looking forward to the fight, Wilder and Helenius. I'm going to do some more videos and get those up. I got about 20 videos to get posted before Friday. Get that other computer back, I'll get it done. If not, I'll do it here on this computer. Get that stuff out to you, man. I got a lot of content I haven't dropped. I'm going to go walking tomorrow. I'll probably do another video while I'm walking too. But that being said, y'all keep cool. Leave your comments below. I'm going to go ahead and pick Eubank Jr. on this one. I think Connor Benn, I think he can get it done. I just don't think it's going to happen this weekend. Maybe a couple of years from now. But this weekend, I just think it's going to be Eubank Jr. And whatever with his dad talking about boycott the fight and all that crap. Whatever, man. Just helps with the ratings, gets more eyes on the fight, and I think that's a good thing. But anyway, y'all keep cool, and as always, I'm in the breeze.